Obama got a prize. He didn't even know what he got. He got elected, and they gave it to Obama for doing absolutely nothing but destroying our country. No, he was not a good president. The worst president was Sleepy Joe Biden, but Obama was not a good president. How many months after he won the election, then they gave him the Peace Prize, right?
It was right after he was elected.
My election was a much more important election. President Obama, and if he wanted help, I'd give him help because I'm a really good builder and I build on time, on budget. He's building his library in Chicago. It's a disaster. And he said something to the effect, I only want DEI, I only want woke. He wants woke people to build it. Well, he got woke people, and they have massive cost overruns. A job is stopped. I don't know. It's a disaster. And I don't like that happening because I think it's bad for the presidency that a thing like that should happen. He's got a library that's a disaster. And he wanted to be very politically correct, and he didn't use good, hard, tough, mean construction workers that I love, Marco. I love those construction workers. But he didn't want construction workers. He wanted people that never did it before. And he's got a disaster in his hands, like millions of dollars, really many millions of dollars over budget. And I would love to help him with it, or somebody else. I could recommend professionals, but it was not built in a professional manner.
Why do you think, I've been thinking about this, why do you think President Trump is so obsessed with Barack Obama?
Well, I think it relates to his own failures. You have to understand, well, you do understand, but the public should understand that the Obama nuclear agreement with Iran was a masterpiece of diplomacy. To remember that we brought in all of the countries, the EU, all at G20, countries all over the world, including Russia and China. So to have this virtuoso performance of having an agreement on nuclear.
Now, we have all known for a long time that former President Barack Obama lives in Donald Trump's head, rent-free, mortgage-free, he ain't paying a dime. Well, Obama gave a rare comment this week, reacting to the current president's obsession with him and his legacy. Watch this.
Look, you got to ask him what it is that
The obsession?
The obsession. I know what it is. I obviously, have a room in his head.
Rent free. You do everything with grace.
A suite in his head.
Now, President Barack Obama is very classy. So let me tell you what he avoided saying in that clip. Donald Trump and MAGA are never going to have the respect and cultural legitimacy that the Obamas had in office and still hold today. They earn the respect, one that transcends, it goes beyond political powers, follows them now, even post-presidency. Meanwhile, Trump is obsessed with his own legacy, creating his own legacy. He knows that on the current track, he would not be fondly remembered by history. That is very clear. Why do you think he's trying to slap his name on everything? The Kennedy Center, maybe? All these other things? The Institute of Peace? He is witnessing in real time the nation honor Barack Obama with the opening of his presidential center. And unlike Trump, Barack Obama did not have to scheme to put his name on the building. People are honoring Obama on their own. And Trump knows he only has a few years left as president to try and bend and shape how people will remember his name, what he did as president, and his legacy. So as Trump's approval rating plummets, as you guys have seen, it's no wonder Trump and the people surrounding him can't get Obama's name out.
The best president, Donald Trump or Barack Obama?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, okay.
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, okay. So you're American, right?
Yeah.
Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Barack Obama.
Why Barack Obama?
I respect him.
Probably from America, right?
Yeah.
Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Barack Obama, hands down.
Yeah, why?
There's only one right answer to that question, and if you look at anything in our country, it's always Barack Obama.
Oh, Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, yeah? Okay. Why Barack Obama?
I don't really know those president, but Donald Trump seems really scary.
Okay. Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Oui, Barack Obama.
Barack Obama. Okay, how about you?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama. Oh, okay. Why Barack Obama?
He's much better than Donald Trump. Yes.
Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama. Yeah. Why Barack Obama?
Do I need to expand on that?
Barack Obama or Donald Trump?
Obama for sure.
Why Obama?
Why? Because Trump is a Nazi, basically.
Obama is one of the best speakers of all time. He speaks with confidence and gravitas. He speaks calmly when asked difficult questions, and he really knows how to rally a crowd. But some people think he's too boring and talks too slow, or that his tone is too flat and monotonous, or they just don't like him as a president. But regardless of how you feel about him as a person, do you agree that
Donald Trump is jealousy of Barack Obama, and this disease keeps on eating him day and night. Whatever Obama is doing, this guy is saying this wasn't right. Remember the Obama Presidential Center, he said that it wasn't on the plan. They would have inquired from him. He has better planners and better builder, and he said that building is a disaster. When it comes to Michelle Obama praising his husband Barack Obama, Trump feels bad.
Barack, there are no words to express how proud I am of the way you showed up and continue to show up every single day. It has been an honor to be by your side. You have made me a better person and have given us all an example that we should strive to emulate. And I hope you know, there is truly no higher calling than that.
When it comes people praising Barack Obama is the best president US has ever had, is feeling jealousy.
Who's your president? As a statesman, it was Obama. He was the best statesman we've ever had, the best speaker. He was an example, in my opinion, of someone who's better than us, who's running the country. This is a guy who's like very educated, very articulate, brilliant guy, lawyer, and the way he speaks is presidential. The way he holds himself is presidential. He doesn't get overly emotional. He's not attacking people. It's like I trusted that he was a statesman. He was a shining example of the best of us.
When Barack Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize, he said it wasn't suit him, that he wasn't eligible to win that award.
Look, whether people like Trump or don't like Trump, I settled 8 wars, big ones, some going on for 36 years, 32 years, 31 years, 28 years, 25 years.
When Obama goes to different countries and welcomed like a hero, that guy feels bad.
We all love Obama. I could listen to him speak forever. I love the way he speaks.
He's bigger than life. He's a very good orator.
Barack Obama. I'm not neutral. I'm a super fan.
President of the United States of America, Barack Obama.
This is beyond weird. Donald Trump is just so obsessed with President Obama.
Jimmy, as a tennis player, Barack Hussein Obama, as a basketball player. I don't know if he's a good basketball player. I tend to doubt it. Actually, his favorite sport is golf.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but he won't be in the Masters anytime soon.
Just obsessed. That's Usha Vance he's sitting next to, the second lady, and he's reading a children's book about past presidents, and he somehow makes it about Obama and disliking Obama. He says he's not a good basketball player, is not good at golf. It's so weird. Truth is, Trump is just jealous. Obama is not a convicted felon. He has never cheated on his wife. He's never had any major scandals. He's actually won a Nobel Peace Prize, and the American people still love him. And Donald Trump can't say any of that about himself. So once again, the Republicans are triggered by President Obama. He could breathe and they'd be angry. And this time they're upset because he met with Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada. That's it. Carney said on social media, "Welcome back to Canada, President Obama. Thanks for joining us in Toronto for important conversations on how we build a better future." Normal stuff, right? But for MAGA, they think that something deeper is going on. For example, Laura Loomer said, "Why is Obama meeting with world leaders while Trump is in office? This is a coup." She thinks that Obama meeting with Carney is an attempt to overthrow the United States government. Another popular MAGA account on Twitter said, "He's a former president. This violates the Logan Act." No, it does not. Honestly, I don't know what the F he thinks he's doing. The balls the Democrats have, unbelievable. I actually responded to that tweet by saying, "This you," referencing her back in 2024, celebrating Donald Trump meeting with Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago. The MAGA Republicans hate Obama because he's better than Donald Trump in every single way, and people actually like him. He's one of the most popular politicians in America, despite leaving the presidency years ago. People still love him.
Everything Obama does, Trump feels bad. So Trump has a disease called Obamasm. So every time he thinks about something, he thinks about Obama. He has, in his brain, he has a space.
And the rogue judges, you don't have a chance in front of these people. If Obama puts in a judge, I don't care how good your case is, you barely have a chance of victory. And nobody suffers it like I do. I get an Obama judge. First thing, who appointed the judge? Barack Hussein Obama. Oh, that's a problem. And we will end no cash bail. The real bad.
Yeah, one of his IQ, it's called Obamasm. So there's no way he can avoid speaking trash about the Obama family. The guy is jealousy, and soon the jealousy is going to put him down.
Is this weird obsession with the Obamas becoming a little bit sad, or does his base love it and he's feeding into that?
Oh, he's feeding into his base 100%, and he's also fulfilling his own vision that he's had throughout his life. I mean, Donald, let's be clear, Donald is a racist. I interviewed executives who worked for him who would tell all sorts of stories about him. There's public record about it. There's testimony. He's been fined for discriminating against women, Black Americans, Puerto Ricans who are American citizens, and Asians. This is who Donald is. Donald is a white supremacist. And attacking the Obamas is crucial because how the different regard they have. When the basketball championship was being held, the commercial basketball league here in America, Donald came to one of the games. He sat behind bulletproof glass up in the rafters, and Barack Obama came. He's a famous, loves to play basketball with people, had a basketball court at the White House. And the crowd went wild with applause for Obama. People were standing up. And when they mentioned Donald had arrived, the room was full of boos.
One thing that's not funny to me is like how much Trump is on Obama's nuts. Like none of that is funny to me because it just reminds me of Sinners. It's like he is so bothered that a Black man was able to do more, be praised more, be more valuable to this country than him. With all the privilege in the world, he can't get done what Obama did already. And so it's just pretty disturbing to me. Like he's living in his head rent-free for no reason. There's no reason for them to have conflict. He wasn't running when Obama was running. Nothing would coincide with that. And so, like, when you think of what kind of predatory behavior that is, it just reminds me of, like, a lynch mob. Nothing is funny about him being obsessed with him. It's actually very scary.
It's this struggle between the idea that we, the people, includes everybody.
During a taped interview on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Colbert asked former President Barack Obama about the expanding powers of the executive branch and what powers he believes whoever is the president should not have.
The White House shouldn't be able to direct the Attorney General to go around prosecuting whoever the president wants to prosecute.
Right, this technically it's under the executive branch,
Technically,
but the norm is that it's independent.
The idea is that the Attorney General is the people's lawyer. It's not the president's consigliere. You can't have a situation in which whoever's in charge of the government starts using that to go after their political enemies or reward their friends.
Obama did not mention President Trump by name, but he nodded to critics who say Trump has leaned on the role of Attorney General and the Justice Department to pursue investigations into his political adversaries, including former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Obama also spoke about the president's power as commander-in-chief.
There had been a whole series of norms that were in place to ensure that you weren't trying to make that military loyal to you as opposed to the Constitution.
Obama also seemed to criticize the president for using the office to advance business interests for his family and friends.
A good policy that I'd like to see followed is that the President of the United States shouldn't have a bunch of side hustles that those companies and foreign entities can invest in. And
how much of that
for.
is just jealous that you didn't think of selling a sneaker? Because your sneakers would have flown. You know that, right?
Even when joking about Colbert's future, the former president appeared to take a jab.
How dumb do you think it is for people to say that I should run for president?
Well, you know, the bar has changed.
That is true. That is true.
A recent Washington Post ABC News Ipsos poll on Trump's approval rating found only 37% of Americans approve of his job performance. This interview dropped just 6 months before a contentious midterm election when the U.S. is wrapped up in a war with Iran and gas prices continue to climb. We have asked the White House for a response to Obama, but have not heard back this.
The President of the United States just said that I insulted Jesus. You want to know what insults Jesus? Kicking the sick off their health care while cutting taxes for billionaires. You know what insults Jesus? Deporting the stranger and separating babies from their mothers. You know what insults Jesus? Bombing innocent school children in Iran and sending our brave men and women off to die in another forever war. You know what insults Jesus? Covering up the Epstein files and then refusing to prosecute a single person in them. I am not a perfect Christian. I don't claim to be. There's only been one perfect Christian, and he was crucified on a cross 2,000 years ago. Jesus told us, he told us to love our neighbors as ourselves. He told us on earth as it is in heaven. Can we imagine war in heaven? Can we imagine bigotry in heaven? Can we imagine poverty in heaven? Then why do we tolerate these things on earth?
Donald Trump has spent years trying to destroy President Obama's legacy. A new poll just showed him how that's going. Hide the ketchup. Here's the clip.
But I also want to take the opportunity to show this poll that I know that the president must hate right now, because 57% of Americans view Obama positively, making him the most popular living president. And right now, only 34% view Donald Trump positively. I mean,
I find this deeply satisfying, considering the fact that Trump has done everything possible that a person could do to try to bring down President Obama.
FIFA gave Donald Trump a peace prize? Ew. So naturally, I wanted to know what the fuck. So I went down a rabbit hole, and it turned out to be significantly worse than I expected. In December 2025, FIFA gave the President of the United States their peace prize. You know, for peace. The citation said something about his unwavering commitment to advancing peace and unity throughout the world. Huh? That's crazy, right? Because in April 2025, the federal government that this man runs deported a 4-year-old with stage 4 cancer. His name is Romeo. He has a 7-year-old sister named Ruby. She's also an American citizen. They were deported right alongside their mother, Rosario, back to Honduras. ICE refused to let their attorneys speak with them. They were lied to about where they were going, and they were gone in 3 days. That same week, another American citizen toddler named Jade, 2 years old, was deported with her mother Julia. Same procedure, same Louisiana ICE office. The man whose government deported these children got a Peace Prize.
He's got some weird obsession with trying to get rid of anything that Barack Obama and Joe Biden created.
And watch TikToks and videos of President Obama, and I just cry.
Is that Barack Obama, for example, Barack Obama had to be editor-in-chief of the Harvard Law Review. Barack Obama had to be a United States senator. You all gave Barack Obama hell because he had a selfie stick and wore a brown suit. But yet and still, this man comes on stage in front of the world and he rambles and he misspeaks and he says this and he could have said that we solved the war between Wakanda and Namor, right? And the Republicans would have been like, oh yeah, I'm glad we stopped that African country. You're talking about RFK, the man who says he has a worm that ate his.
I think it's fair to say that Barack Obama lives rent-free in Donald Trump's mind.
You remember President Obama tried to do it and it failed miserably. Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash.
And now it seems like another presidential roommate is moving in.
The one president I did not want to be was the late, great Herbert Hoover. Rather than having your favorite president be Herbert Hoover, it's always the one I didn't want to be.
Ah, yes, Herbert.
What? So Donald Trump is jealous of Barack Obama. And the reason why I say this is because if you didn't know, Donald Trump last night got on Truth Social and posted an AI photo of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as apes. And everyone who has seen this photo has, came to the same conclusion that this is racist. But I feel like it's more than racist when it comes to Donald Trump. I feel like this is an attempt to throw jabs at a person that he feels threatened by. And I feel like he's threatened by Obama because Obama has all of the achievements, accolades, and adoration from the public that he'll never get. And I feel like he can't figure out why he'll never get these things, but it's because he's a vile human being and he's always been a vile human being. And I feel like it's even crazier when we look at the, bigger picture, because here we have a white man with almost all of the money in the world jealous of a black man that he can't outdo. And the only, thing that he can do is basically throw jabs and little shots to make himself feel better, because when it comes to, actually doing the job of the presidency, he'll never outdo that man. And it's just crazy. And I feel like even when we look at his history of, how he's felt about Obama, it's always been there. I feel like it's one of those things that, if y'all remember, like I remember when, Obama was elected to be our president the first time, like Donald Trump was the first person to be like, we need to look at his papers to make sure he's a U.S. citizen, like all based off of like his middle name and his last name. Like that was racist then. And now, you fast forward it, even just a couple months ago, he was complaining about not getting a Nobel Peace, prize. And one of his primary arguing points is that Obama got one and he doesn't feel that Obama did anything to deserve one. Like, those are the things that show me that this man is threatened by a black man. This man is threatened by anybody, with moral integrity and, ability to be a person, something that he can't do. And I feel like it baffles him to the point where it keeps him up at night. It's one of those things that bothers him to the point where, everybody is asleep and he's up, tweeting or talking about this person. And, we can even go deeper than that, because in every press conference that he has, he's always bringing up the achievements of Obama and how he's going to overdo that, if he actually could, because Obama's competent. He wasn't. But at the same time, either way you look at it, he'll never live up to be the person that Obama is. And it shows that he's jealous. All these little shots, we shouldn't even get mad about it anymore, because it's just showing who he is. It's showing the truth of how he feels. So I don't know. Tell me how y'all feel about it. I feel like, it's basically his jealousy showing, but y'all might have a different perspective, but honestly, it is what it is.
Donald Trump wants what Obama has. in terms of this cultural cachet. When he goes to the games like the NFL games, everywhere except the UFC, he is in a box because he can't be on the floor like that. I'm wondering your take on, as somebody that was in the room, who saw it live, just a juxtaposition between these two presidents.
Well, you know, the few times I've been able to meet Obama, you know, it was when he was still in office, and it was very clear that Obama is like a real sports fan and a very big basketball fan, and his stress relief was actually watching sports. Like, he didn't watch, I mean, I'm sure he was kept abreast about what was happening on CNN and MSNBC and a lot of the other news stations, but his downtime a lot was spent watching ESPN, which, you know, was how he knew who I was, and I was floored by this. Like, you know who I am.
Ma'am, you're
this
very
is crazy.
Please, Jamel, please. Everybody knows who you are. You gotta stop with this.
Still, there's a certain level of fame you think you have, and then when the president of the United States is like, yeah, I know who you are, that's a different level, okay? And so he's always had this love affair with basketball, and he has a very good relationship with a lot of NBA players, LeBron, Steph Curry. And a few years ago, when the players did a work stoppage after Jacob Blake was shot, Obama was one of the people they consulted and talked to about how they should proceed, because many of them didn't want to finish the season. They wanted to make a big statement, and he was one of the consigliaries that was in their ear. I've said this before when it comes to MAGA and even to Donald Trump. A lot of people in MAGA, a lot of his administration, part of the reason they're so angry is because they're just not cool.
It should also be noted that Trump commemorated the 250th anniversary of the nation's founding this weekend by doing one extra thing that wasn't on the agenda, but he did nonetheless. He got online and posted a racist fake image of former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama in a fake Air Force One that was all covered in graffiti. As the Associated Press delicately noted, quote, the use of graffiti is a coded message to remind people of crime and urban decay and has been used in racist messaging against black people in the past. The AP also noting that this latest racist post from Trump for Independence Day weekend comes after, quote, another racist post by President Trump that showed the couple as primates in a jungle. Happy 250th anniversary. Happy 250th, America. How far we've come.
It did look very friendly, I must say. I didn't realize it, how friendly it looked. I saw it on your wonderful network just a little while ago before I came in, and I said, boy, they look like two people that like each other, and we probably do. We have little different philosophies, right? But we probably do. I don't know, we just got along, but I got along with just about everybody on that. We met backstage, as you know, before we went on, and I thought it was a beautiful service, but we all got along very well, which is good.
It doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, or what you look like, or where you love. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white, or Hispanic, or Asian, or Native American, or young or old, or rich or poor, able, disabled, gay or straight. You can make it here in America if you're willing to try.
Black, white, Latino, Asian, Native American, young, old, gay, straight, men, women, folks with disabilities, all pledging allegiance under the same proud flag to this big, bold country that we love. That's what I see. That's the America I know. I say to them tonight, there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America. There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America.
No wonder Donald Trump is jealous of Barack Obama. There are 3 things Obama possesses that Trump will never have. Recently, Trump has been very unhappy about not receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, even saying that Obama didn't deserve it either. So why is he so jealous of Obama? Simply put, Obama has 3 things Trump will never have. First, during his term, Obama made many positive contributions to the United States. He handled both economic and international affairs very well, thus earning the respect of almost everyone. In contrast, almost everything Trump does is controversial, and people often dislike him. No wonder he's jealous of Obama. Second, Obama is always calm and composed when speaking, even on important occasions. He can even be humorous while still appearing reliable. Trump, on the other hand, says whatever comes to mind, often making people uncomfortable. So in terms of public speaking, Obama is far superior. Finally, and most importantly, Obama has received the Nobel Peace Prize. This is not just any award. It's a globally recognized honor, reflecting his status and influence worldwide. Trump has also been president, but he has never achieved this level of recognition. What do you think?
Look, I'm trying to be nice to these people. They were lousy presidents, and this one coming is the worst. She makes Obama look like forget it.
Michelle Obama completely destroyed Donald Trump in a speech earlier at the opening session of the new Obama Library. You guys have to see this. She rarely gives speeches. Her and her husband, they speak up when important, but they don't speak up too often. So it's very rare to see one of the Obamas giving a speech. I want you guys to see this. Credits to Aaron Parnas. I'm going to be pulling this from a video he had posted. Let's take a look at this together.
We're unflappable at every turn, always focused, always calm, always looking at the long view. How absurd it is to even imagine that you might have buckled under the pressure even once.
She's talking about her
Lashed
husband,
out
by the
in
way.
frustration, lost your temper. How absurd it is to imagine that you might have done anything but make our family and this entire country proud. No, you were too busy. I'm not done, y'all. Not done. So much to say. You were doing the people's work, rescuing our economy, expanding health care, ending a war, ordering the bin Laden raid, saving an auto industry, winning a peace prize. Keeping us safe from Ebola, regulating the banks, standing up for marriage equality, listening to science, and comforting an entire nation in the face of unspeakable tragedies. And you did it all with such grace and class and cool that you made the hardest job in the world look like a walk in this beautiful park.
That was what I would argue would be a direct attack on Donald Trump, starting off by saying Obama was not everything that Trump is, losing his temper, and he actually won a peace prize. Unlike Trump never won a peace prize and is enraged by that fact and makes sure to let us know every day by accusing Obama of something new. So that's great. We love it.
Michelle Obama just brought the house down at the opening of the Obama Presidential Library in Chicago. She torched Donald Trump without even having to utter his name, showing the contrast between the Obama administration and this Trump administration. Watch this.
You were unflappable at every turn, always focused, always calm, always looking at the long view. How absurd it is to even imagine that you might have buckled under the pressure even once, lashed out in frustration, lost your temper. How absurd it is to imagine that you might have done anything but make our family and this entire country proud. No, you were too busy. I'm not done, y'all. Not done. So much to say. You were doing the people's work, rescuing our economy, expanding healthcare, ending a war, ordering the bin Laden raid, saving an auto industry, winning a peace prize. Keeping us safe from Ebola, regulating the banks, standing up for marriage equality, listening to science, and comforting an entire nation in the face of unspeakable tragedies. And you did it all with such grace and class and cool that you made the hardest job in the world look like a walk in this beautiful park.
Michelle Obama just brought down the House at the Obama Presidential Library opening, praising President Barack Obama for, among other things, winning the Peace Prize. In an emotional and soaring tribute, she praised President Barack Obama for his leadership, his vision, and among other highlights, winning the Nobel Peace Prize. The crowd was locked in, cheering, laughing, and tearing up.
News tonight on President Trump's threat to take over Greenland. In an effort by Norway to defuse the situation, the president responding to Norway with a text reminding Norway that President Trump was not given the Nobel Peace Prize. The president now linking the Nobel snub to his threat to take Greenland, while protesters overseas are now wearing red caps that say, "Make America Go Away." Mary Bruce at the White House tonight.
Tonight, President Trump lashing out at NATO allies as he escalates his push for Greenland, saying because he did not win the Nobel Peace Prize, he no longer feels, quote, an obligation to think purely of peace. It came after Norway's prime minister texted Trump pleading we all should work to take this down and de-escalate, proposing a phone call to talk it out. Instead, Trump texting back, "Dear Jonas, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace. Although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America." He's very preoccupied with the Nobel Peace Prize, Norway's prime minister told reporters, and I've explained to him many times that it's an award given by a Norwegian committee, not by the Norwegian government. America's NATO allies rattled as Trump sounds increasingly determined to own Greenland, which has been part of the Kingdom of Denmark for more than 300 years. In Copenhagen, thousands taking to the streets, wearing Trump's signature red hats, these saying "Make America Go Away." 8 NATO countries, including France, Germany, and the UK, moving forces to Greenland as a show of support. Over the weekend, Trump threatening new tariffs on those countries, 10% in February, jumping to 25% in June, until a, quote, deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland.
The use of tariffs against allies is completely wrong.
And tomorrow, President Trump heads to Europe for the World Economic Forum in Davos. It's there he's supposed to unveil his Board of Peace. One leader invited to join the group, Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, the board is intended to help rebuild Gaza, but Trump seems to have larger ambitions that go far beyond just that conflict, David.
Mary Bruce starting.
Obama he gave Iran the right to have a nuclear weapon at the highest level within a very short period of time, and I terminated that agreement.
It was actually Trump who gave them the right to produce nuclear weapons when he pulled out of the JCPOA agreement that Obama signed with Iran. Trump is literally rewriting history because his supporters are too ignorant to follow.
And there's one time in particular when Barack Hussein Obama hosted it. Do you know who that is? And he hit me hard, but actually he hit me with respect.
Donald Trump is here tonight. Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
And I have watched this clip thousands of times. They keep playing it because they think that was the evening I decided to run for president. It was not. In fact, I loved the evening. I looked at my wife. I said, "Can you believe it? All these people, that's all they're doing is talking about me. I love this dinner." It's true. And Obama was nice. It's amazing how things work out. He actually showed a picture of the White House with a big Trump on top. Like I put a sign, and I'm sort of doing that when you think about it, right? I mean, he wasn't really wrong. But no, he was respectful. He was good. And it had nothing to do. It had nothing to do. I just decided that I wanted to make America great again. This had nothing to do with that dinner.
A number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things. I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. They had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff on the Lion King. And certainly it was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that was at the end. If they would have looked, they would have seen it. And probably they would have had the sense to take it down. What's annoying at Trump is that Barack Obama was far more effective, that Barack Obama actually got China and the EU and got a multilateral agreement that got 97% of enriched uranium out. And it turns out being statesmanlike and being smart and strategic is better than bluster for America's national interest. And now the president has made a mess of things, made a mess of the economy, but his ego will not permit him to go to Xi Jinping and the European leaders and have a multilateral solution to get us out of this mess and to help the American
Before you jump in. I mean, the Iranians killed an order of magnitude more Americans under President Obama than they have under President
Trump. That's just not true.
That is absolutely true. I was in Iraq getting the EFPs that the Iranians were supplying to the Jaish al-Mahdi, Assad al-Haq, all of the Iranian-backed militias.
Obama didn't go to Dover Air Force Base and have to look at dead Americans coming in. Obama didn't preside over the Strait of Hormuz.
I mean, he should have, because there were my colleagues coming back from Iraq.
From Iraq, but not from the direct.
Who were killed by Iranian by
proxy groups.
Yes, those were being killed. Their weapons
those were being killed under the first Trump term as well, and you know that as well as I do. Trump has created a disaster.
And killed under Biden and Jordan.
And what he has done is he engaged in the very regime change wars that he ran against, and he believes that he can attack
that's
the world.
criticism. There's no regime change.
Okay.
Of course, whenever Trump is backed into a corner, he needs to change the subject and throw red meat to the carnivorous base. And their favorite cut is filet of Obama. Here's Trump earlier today being asked about the ongoing Epstein scandal.
Yeah, I don't know about it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold. Now, we found this isn't like evidence this is like proof. Irrefutable proof that Obama was sedacious.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it takes extraordinary confidence to call a former president sedacious, because that is not a word.
God help us.
Even FIFA came up with this Peace Prize.
Did you see the building they renamed after him too?
Yeah.
It's the Donald J. Trump Peace Institute.
This is embarrassing. But it's like, how humiliating for that organization that they did that. How humiliating is for foreign leaders to give the President of the United States a crown. Is that a metaphor? Is it a prophecy? How embarrassing it is to watch some of those powerful people in the world, the most well-connected and wealthy, sell out because of Donald Trump and sell our country out in return. And so I'm just calling that out. And again, it doesn't make me popular. It's not trust me, a popularity contest. I love FIFA, by the way. I'm not trying to offend, and I'm grateful they're coming to our state. It's not the point, but their state of mind that they feel they have to do that to our dear leader. In the United States of America, we're supposed to represent something better.
Y'all ever wondered why it is that Donald Trump seems so obsessed with getting himself a Nobel Peace Prize? Because he goes on and on about how he solved all these wars, so he should get a Peace Prize. And I think the reason he wants one so badly is because President Barack Obama received one while Obama was president, and Donald Trump's entire philosophy and the reason he got into politics in 2016, in my opinion, is because he wanted to dismantle Obama's legacy and try to prove that he was better than Obama. See, way back in 2011, at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Obama made a joke about Donald Trump, who was in attendance. This is because Donald Trump was one of the loudest voices of the birther movement, which is this really racist belief that there was no way that Barack Obama could have been born in the United States. And it grew out almost entirely because Obama was black and Republicans were trying to come up with a reason to disqualify him. So they created this completely made-up belief that he was not born in the United States, that he was actually born in Kenya. And they tried to use that to disqualify him from being the president, even though he was an American citizen, and it was known he was an American citizen the entire time that he was running up to when he became the president. He's an American citizen. He was not born in Africa. And Donald Trump was one of the biggest voices of this movement. So in 2011, at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Obama made a joke about it. And if you go watch that video, you can find it online. Donald Trump is one of the only people who's not laughing. Everybody's laughing at it. The whole point of the White House Correspondents' Dinner is it's an opportunity for the president to unload a little bit and crack some jokes at figures in the media and other politicians. And usually everybody's having a good time, but Donald Trump is not. You can see how mad he is in his face when they cut to him. He's furious to be made fun of. And Donald Trump is not somebody who will let something like that go. And I think this is why he attempts to run for politics in 2012 and fails, and then tries to run again in 2016 and succeeds. And everything he has done, the vast majority of what he has done since taking over, the stuff he's focused on, has been trying to either dismantle Obama's legacy or prove that he's better than Obama. That's why he goes so hard after Obamacare, because it's one of the biggest pieces of legislation that Obama got passed. He goes after Obamacare relentlessly because he wants to dismantle it because it's part of Obama's legacy. That's why he always talked up and hyped up a big game that he was going to be a better president in the Middle East than Obama. That was the biggest reason that I believe he got into politics in 2016, was so that he could dismantle Obama's legacy and try to prove that he's better than him. I think part of this anger has kind of shifted onto Biden as well, because I don't think Trump has ever recovered from the fact that Biden beat him in 2020. So I think that part of that anger he has at Obama has shifted to Biden as well. This is why he brings up Biden any opportunity he can to show how much better he is than Biden. But I also think the core of it is still going after Barack Obama, and that's why he wants the Peace Prize so bad, is so he continue to fuel his ego to tell himself that he's better than Barack Obama, even though we know that Obama is a better president than Trump could ever be. Regardless of his policies, Obama is just a better person than Trump will ever be able to be. And I think that he knows it, and that gnaws at him constantly. So he has to dismantle everything that that man was able to build just to fuel his ego and make himself feel better.
I just wanted to point out that we had a black man as our president for 8 years, and not one of us racists tried to kill the guy.
I mean, technically, you're correct. It's not one, it's many. Do you remember this one, for example? Does this one tell you nothing? What about this little event over here? That's inconsequential. That never happened, right? And I'm sure you've forgotten about this one because, you know, black president and all. Or this one, for example. You conveniently forgot or didn't research about this one. This is clearly a case of, let's call it, selective understanding of reality. In fact, did you know that Barack Obama is the president that was the recipient of the most credible threats against him than any other president in the history of our country? You probably didn't, because you didn't do any research. You simply took a meme that you found online and just ran with it. So while any aggression towards any president of the United States is despicable and must be rejected, I find it fascinating how some people live in an ideological bubble that rejects any understanding of reality and focuses on just what they want to hear. I think they call it a cult, if I'm not mistaken.
Donald Trump is going to hate this. A new poll's out this morning showing that not only is Barack Obama the most popular president, most admired president that is living, he's also the most popular president amongst independents. And not a surprise, Donald Trump is not even close to being as popular as President Obama. And this is one of the reasons why on Kalshi, Donald Trump is projected to be impeached by the House once again by next year. So let me know what you think about this. Tell me who your favorite president is. Personally, my favorite's Obama, and I'm sure Trump is hating and seething seeing this poll.
Tell me what you think down in the comment. Why is Trump so obsessed with the Obama family? Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks. See you in the next video.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.